This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason
Hey,
Glick.
Jason Glick. What's going on?
Just the usual, John. Yourself?
Oh, about the same. What do you have on tap for us tonight, sir?
Okay, well, it's like I was honestly really kind of stumped as far as what to do for like tonight's show. Like I was tempted to do something about all the titles that begin with D in my to read list. So that's how desperate things were getting for me. And I might still do that next week, so you consider yourself warned. But then I noticed that I had also picked up the Neo Parasyte M manga from from the right stuff, and I realized, yeah, hey, you know what? It's like I've never talked about Parasyte before, so hey, might as well go ahead and give it a start now. Okay, so a little history lesson. Let me kind of a large history lesson because Parasyte was a series that was originally released in Japan, probably before me, like a lot of people listening were born because it was originally released serialized in Kodansha's manga magazines from 1988 to 1995. It was then picked up for release by Tokyo Pop back in the days when they were known as Mix, and it was published in their Mix zine. It's like, and it's like back in those days, like we're talking like the late 90s, early aughts. It's like I had an interest in manga, but I was like all for all the stuff that Dark Horse was putting out because all their seinen stuff was like right up my alley, and it's like this other series, like these other guys, like it's like this looks strange and weird, so I'm not going to bother. But fortunately, I had a friend by the name of Tara, still good friends with her, who also tossed the series my way. It's like probably well over a decade back, and surprisingly, it was an intelligent, thoughtful, and pretty compelling science fiction series. So, what's it about? Well, it's about this your average Japanese teen Shinichi Izumi, and he just happens to be living be alive when these spores drop into Japan, and spores from space, and they let out these parasitic worms that seek out nearby humans and infect them. So when a human is infected, the worm goes straight to their brain, consumes their head, and they're left with and while the parasite can assume human form, it can also spiral off into and assume forms that are long spiral shapes with blades, but and also peel your head apart and then eat your human face. Kind of like the dog from John Carpenter's Thing. Because there's no getting around this because the parasite does kind of owe a deep debt to the Thing in terms of it's like the aliens who can assume human form. And are out to kill us as well. But it also owes a deep debt to classic Star Trek as well because on one hand, a lot of these aliens are here they do arrive with the intent to kill and murder us and assume and ascend up the food chain, and then some others are are grouped by more higher thoughts about why are we here, what is the point of our existence, why is it necessary that we consume human life and and obey this genetic imperative we have. But the thing is, in the case of Shinichi, well, he's infected with the parasite as well, but he happens to notice it right when it's crawling up his arm. It's his right arm specifically, and he ties it off to keep the parasite from advancing any further. So he thinks that that problem solved. It's like, oh, this is weird, man. Like this thing started to crawl on my arm. It's like, oh, it must have been. Then while he cries out to his parents, and they're saying like, oh, it's like you're just crazy from studying too hard, even though you don't study all that hard in the first place. And it's like you think, okay, like that, like that's the end of the story. But no, it turns out that the parasite, instead of infecting his head, has infected his arm, and this parasite calls himself Miggy because like Miggy is Japanese for right, so he's basically righty. It's like get like starts to like he has the same he gets kind of the same like indifference towards human race that his other kind has, but he's also like not really in a place to like exercise his like his need to consume other humans for sustenance and whatnot. Like he's able to just get his uh, like his sustenance just from from Shinichi's daily diet. So you've got this kind of like this. So even though it's like Shinichi's got this like alien on his right on his right hand, it's like they kind of like have a nice like symbiosis and balance. I mean, like even like a Miggy is content to like learn about human it's like about human life and what makes us tick, and Shinichi like try like find like gets to know more about this alien life form as well, and it's like make weird interesting shapes out of his arm, like sometimes like not always intentionally, of course, but as time goes on, it's like Shinichi, Shinichi increasingly comes in contact with the other alien parasites, and in their eyes, he's kind of a defect. I mean, some of them like look at him and go, "Oh, it's like you're awful. You need to be wiped out and taken care of." And then there's one like a teacher at his high school, Ryoko Tamiya, who who looks at him and goes, yeah, it's like, this is strange. Like a human and a parasite coexisting together. It's like, I want to know more about this. It's like it's like Ryoko is like one of the more interesting characters in the series in the sense that she's the one parasite who asks these hard questions about, it's like, hey, why are we here? It's like, what is our purpose beyond just, trying to consume human life and ascend to the top of the food chain? It's like, and that does lead her into conflict with, it's like with the other parasites, but also with the but leads her into kind of I wouldn't say an uneasy alliance with Shinichi and Miggy, but there's this like kind of like mutual respect there in the sense that it's like that they're not gonna like Shinichi and Miggy aren't gonna try to take her out because even if she doesn't exactly mean them well, it's like she's not like a direct threat or anything. So, but I was like, but Parasite was. It's also it's like it's interesting in the sense that it's like it does treat such a material with a certain maturity. This is definitely a seinen manga. It's like it was eventually published in Kodansha's afternoon magazine, the home to like all that greatest of all time classics, Bleeding Immortal, along with the likes of say Oh My Goddess and Gunsmith Cats, but it's like but it's also so it's like there is a lot of gore to it, but it's mainly just to let you know that this is not going to be like a cute shonen series about the value how friendship like triumphs overall. I mean, it kind of does, but it's like the way. But Miggy and Shinichi's relationship is kind of interesting in the sense that while Shinichi is kind of like your standard bleeding heart human in the sense that no, it's like you can't just kill someone because you don't like them. It's like Miggy is very pragmatic in the sense that it's like, hey, I don't have any of your human morality. It's like it's like, why are you telling me not to do this? It's like, so there's lots of Star Trek style like philosophizing and debating about say about what is right and what is necessary. So it's it's kind of somewhat going to be somewhat familiar to people who've like seen lots of Star Trek style stuff over the years. It's still handled pretty. It's like pretty well. The it's like some of the main barriers to entry for the series are the fact that the mangaka Hitoshi Iwaki, like his style, uh, it's really kind of he's got the characters like tend to make really he's got an expressive style, but also really kind of awkward and somewhat distracting at times, in the sense that it's like his characters like make exaggeratedly like like caricature worthy faces at certain points. And it's like, okay, that's just strange and weird and not really manga esque. So it's kind of distracting at certain points, especially early on. He's also like not very good with like most of the other female characters. While Ryoko is a standout, Shinichi's quote unquote girlfriend Satomi is really only there to support his hero's journey. It's like in every way. I mean, like if you're wondering, hey, like it's like, do they even have sex before the big final encounter? Yes, they do. It's like, and is she also like constantly commenting on him on his actions and how strange they seem over the course of the series? Yes, she does that too. Does he actually tell her about anything about what's going on? Nope. And there's also Kana, a girl with like a delinquent girl with some psychic sensibilities that allow her to sense other Parasyte characters, who regrettably ends up fridged in the course of the story. So that's really kind of disappointing. Um, it's like so yeah, that's just kind of that's just disappointing, and but I don't know, it's like the story over the course of the 8 volumes. It's like 8 volume edition that was released by it's like by Del Rey, which is the one I've got, and Kodansha did the same way as well. It's like it does tell a interesting story about about humans and aliens, and them trying to understand each other. It's like, and also the violent conflicts that erupt when they are unable to reach understanding. There are some really good action scenes. It's like over the course of the story, because Iwaki does like, for all the action scenes that happens, like they're not really like really dynamic stuff, but it's well constructed to the point where you can tell that that he clearly values it's strategizing over raw power. It's like, yeah, I mean like it's like bits like the final conflict between the 5-in-1 Parasyte Goto. It's like, and Shinichi are is a real highlight of that form. It's like, and also there are some times when he pulls off some really brutal stuff, like when you find out, like when Shinichi loses someone close to him. It's like in volume 2. It's like that's kind of like a wow, I wasn't expecting him to go there. So yeah, it's like, I mean, like it may not, like I said, Parasite doesn't have like most dynamic or immediately appealing style to it, but it's got intelligence. It's got intelligence. It's like, and style to its execution. It's like I really enjoyed it. It's like, and it's something that I'd recommend to anyone looking for like a good science fiction. It's like action or horror series. Like I said, people who with like looking for like a nice hybrid of like Star Trek and The Thing will probably find this appealing. But I also want to talk about the one volume it's like that got me started on talking about Parasyte in the first place for this podcast, and that would be Neo Parasyte M. Now, Parasyte, well, for years it was talked about. Hey, like Tokop mentioned that. Hey, we did get this sign up for development with Hollywood, and nothing ever came of that. But the funny thing is, like, well, if Wikipedia is to be trusted, then it's like it turns out that after the Hollywood option expired in 2013, a bidding war for the series began in Japan in like immediately, and then the series adapted into 2 live action films, and then and then the anime. Now, after it's like now because hey, it's like and I imagine it's because like people, it's like people like remembered the series from back in the day and said, hey, you know what? Remember that series Parasite? Dude, man, that was cool. Yeah, man. It's like whatever happened to that? We should totally do an anime about that. And I can also imagine that like the guys at Kodansha also said, hey, you know what? It's like it's Parasite series, like it's coming back now. Let's see if we can get any people to like do more manga about it, like I guess a tribute and all. Well, there were two Parasite manga that were published. One was the Shoujo manga edition, which is Neo Parasite F, which is published, I believe, in the end of 2016, and Neo Parasite M, which is the Shonen um, manga edition, which is such, it's like normally it's like I'm not really be interested in like seeing other people's takes on the series because it's like can't just be like, hey, it's like new Parasite from people who are not Hitoshi Iwaki. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna pass. But then when you tell me that these creators include Moto Hagio, Hiroki Endo, Akira Hiramoto, it's like I'm Ryoji Minagawa. It's like then okay, yeah, now I'm interested. I mean, it's like when it was announced at the Del Rey manga panel at Comic-Con this year. So I thought, shit, man, it's like Hiroki Endo's doing a Parasite story. Sign me the fuck up, man. All right, but how did this turn out? Well, if you do like Parasite, then I can recommend the Neo Parasite M manga. It's not all of it is great. There are some like real stinkers here, but overall, it's like I think the stories hit more than they miss, particularly with the opening story, which is easily the best of the bunch, and that's from Moto Hagio. Now, Hagio is one of the Magnificent 49ers, the group of women who were born in 1949 who went on to revolutionize shoujo manga. And if you can get your hands on some of her works, like Otherworld Barbara or the Drunken Dream collection from Fantagraphics, or if you're lucky enough to like know someone who's got access to a copy of like Four Shoujo Stories, which has her classic science fiction manga, They Were 11, it's like in there, then those are all highly recommended. But the thing is, like, what I like most about her style is that, like, she'll go, like, she's not afraid to go into, like in crazy directions. Like, with this series, it starts off with a little girl, who, has, it's like, who's, like, at, like, who is, like, seems to be, like, outwardly normal, but she's also got she's also kind of like expressionless. She's got can be kind of angry, but she also hears these voices that say "shut up, kill," and she's wondering where do these voices come from? But she's also an orphan. It's like what happened to her mother, and then she meets this this other kid Jew who just is kind of like a like type kid who just loves throwing that sound around, and is just like really angry, and it's like, and he's kind of difficult to be around, and it's all about like how Yura grows up and how she adapts to like being around other people, like hanging around with Jew. It's like, and there's like these voices she hears. Now, as I was reading this story, I was like, well, okay, this is all nice and interesting, what does this have to do with Parasite? I mean, it's like, to be honest, like I was really expecting like the explanation to be kind of like nailed on. It's like at the end, which that was fine because the story itself was very involving, especially when Ju's older brother shows up and shit gets crazy. Well, it does get crazy by normal manga standards. It doesn't even get crazy compared to like some of the other stuff I've read from Hagio. It wouldn't even it would hardly rate really. But then when you do find out the connection that it has to the original Parasite series, it's like, oh shit, that's cool. That's good. So yeah, it's like it takes a while, but it's like the connections that the overall story like eventually leads to being like the best of the It's like of the whole volume. There's ones that follow, like Eat It Tonight Too by Moare Ota, about a parasite whose desire for healthy living leads him to marry a 36-year-old office lady and start a family. It's both amusing, it's funny, it's amusing, it's like and kind of weirdly touching as well. It's like it's uh, it's like especially in the sense that it's like there's some bits where like it's just like it's really humor is really awkward, or when like the parasite, like he finds out he's gonna be a father, and his wife says, it's like, oh, what should we name the girl? And he's like, huh, I don't. What does it matter what her name is? And then the bloodlust his wife radiates towards him almost causes him to unspool his face, because he feels that that this is the first time a human might kill him. It's like in return. So it's a kind of it's an interesting, cute like take on parasite life. Um, then there's it's like a model style story where like where this creator Takayuki Takeya called Granny's Regrets, that he creates it's all told through a model he creates of this old grandma that was possessed by a parasite out in the sticks. It's just like wondering like, oh man, it's like, why the fuck did I possess this grandma? It's like, what do I have to do? Why do I have to live like this? And then one day a bear crashes in. He's like, all right, now I take it out of here. It's a short story, but really kind of clever. The one that follows it is also pretty short, called Paragont, but it's it's kind of like a go nowhere story about parasites fighting in giant bodies, like a Pacific Rim type thing. Then you've got Hiro Mashima, creator of Rave Master and Fairy Tail, doing a crossover story between Parasyte and Fairy Tail, where Lucy from Fairy Tail is possessed by Miggy. It's I imagine if I had read any of Fairy Tail, it's like I'd probably be more into this story. But it's like I think it's like this is probably more for Fairy Tail fans than for Parasyte fans than anything else. Teach Me Ryoko Tamiya Sensei from Peach Pit hits upon some of the more awkward bits about hey, it's like if Biggie is possessed Shinichi's right hand, then what does that mean for like certain activities that teenagers do with their right hand? Oh, and hey, what if Ryoko showed up just to hit on Shinichi and try to have sex with them? It kind of like it hits on these awkward things that like, hey, it's like, wouldn't that be funny if? It's like, but doesn't really like engage with them any further beyond comic relief. The Strange One by Takatoshi Kumakura is definitely one of the better ones, since it has two parasites meeting out in the sticks. One who has just wandered in from out in the city, and who meets this other parasite who's become a family man, raising his and is living a healthy life after having possessed several unhealthy hosts. It's something that espouses the value of clean living in a very morbid way, and it's interesting how how it kind of like has a interesting moral ambivalence about how is this parasite who is living out in the sticks, like, is he really just like raising his family as potential spare bodies, or does he actually kind of care for them, based on what happens at the end of the story, or like is that even him at the end of the story? Does make you wonder. So Ryoji Minagawa has has a parasite who is killing insurgent motherfuckers, it's like in Iraq or just some Middle Eastern place, because it's a parasite who is signed up to work for America, and he's like learned to be a badass killer. But what happens when he meets a parasite who is working for the enemy? It's a nice, clever story, and it answers the question of why is this guy working for the Americans? It's like in an interesting and kind of spine-chilling way at the end of the story. Um, Rishi Ueshiba's Miggy's Journey is a visual masterpiece. It's like, and one that when it comes to like translation notes at the end of the volume, this one rated 2 pages all by itself for all the crazy stuff that he puts in here. It's a like as the translator notes, it's a veritable Where's Waldo of Japanese pop culture references. And while you don't need to get all of them, it's certainly it's certainly like an impressive visual splendor to take in. It's like, especially when, and as far as its relevance to Parasyte, when it focuses on Miggy, but it's kind of like it's hard to like say exactly what's going on here without getting into spoilers for the end of the series and how it turns out. I do think that if you really think of it as like an epilogue for the series, it actually works pretty well. So what follows then is like I said, the one that I was really looking forward to. That's Hiroki Endo's Edible, and well, as he notes in his author's commentary at the back, like he was really kind of like trying to nail the feel of Alien here, in the sense that it has a bunch of interstellar commandos trying to tackle trying to infiltrate and take over a ship that has apparently been infected by a parasite. Catch is, while there's plenty of fragile humans around, they've also got a parasite of their own working alongside them. It's like, as a straight action piece, it's not bad. It's like, I do kind of like feel I was misled by like Kodansha editor. It's like Ben Applegate, who said that this is like, when he talked about this at Comic-Con, he said, it's like his Endo stories are all about like heads getting cut off, like so many heads getting cut off and stuff. And it's like, no, it's not. It's something that plays that. It's like it's a straight up action story, but it doesn't really play to anything deeper than that, which is kind of disappointing, given the depth that Endo's work in Eden and All Rounder Meguru have demonstrated. So yeah, if I had been, it's like, if like I said, this is something that this is like the story that kind of got me to buy this, but fortunately there's enough good stuff here that it's like I didn't it's the fact that it didn't quite live up to its promise. It's like I'm fine with that. Then we got another crossover story featuring it's like called Kisei Ekoda-chan. Let's see, about it's like about another character. Let's see, another series called Brinshi Ekoda-chan, and it's about a fashionable girl who apparently Ekoda, who's apparently has her own manga series from the creator Yukari Takinami, and apparently due to reasons she wants to put the parasite in her vagina, which is like appealingly weird, but it's like it's like 3 pages of 4-panel comics, which it's like, I guess it's like if you're just going to do something weird like that, it's just the right length for that. Then, but other than that, it's like I don't really have much like the fairy tale story. It's like I don't really have the it's like really the empathy to like really, or knowledge to really get into it. Also at the end is Akira Hiramoto's Chinless Jen and I Are Parasites, which is he's doing a riff on one of his other characters, Chinless Jen, who is a trucker, and he winds up he and apparently his buddy wind up meeting up with one of the old with the old lady who Shinichi encounters at the end of the Parasyte manga, and there's all sorts of general weirdness that's happening with them. It's like as Jen and his buddy just kind of like mooch off the old lady for half a year. It's a funny riff on the idea that the real parasites, it's like the real Parasyte is humanity from the original series, but it doesn't quite scale the same comedic heights that Hiramoto's prison school series has. So there you go. It's like Neo Parasyte M. It's like like I said, if you like Parasyte, then I definitely recommend this. But only it's like if you like Parasyte. So yeah, if you're looking for good, thoughtful science fiction, it's like go and check out Parasyte. I mean, hey, there's a reason there was license rescue twice. It's like in this day and age, which is really kind of impressive. All right, so John, I don't know. It's like any thoughts on your end about all this?
So you recommend these?
I do. Well, like I said, Parasyte M is only recommended if you like the original series, because if you're not into Parasyte, then why bother with this at all?
There you go. So you know what you're going to be talking about next week.
Well, unless inspiration strikes, then it may just be about all the D titles in my to read pile, or I don't know. It's like I was looking at my shelf and I thought, hey, I've never talked about Snowpiercer, so hey, maybe we'll go about that instead. We'll see.
All right. And we'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Gleg.
All right. Bye.
Bye.